Hey, Psalm 44, the psalm is in three parts. The first part is, God, we've heard you're great and you've done amazing things, so we're not going to trust ourselves. Part two is, but you're letting us down because we're experiencing defeat right now. Where are you? What happened to you? Part three is, I guess we'll have to wait on you because we're not going anywhere else. So God, wake up, show back up, deliver us, but you're our only hope. Okay, that's how the psalm breaks down. We're in part one, and we've covered verses 1 through 7. So let's pick it up in verse 4. Thou art my king, O God, command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread under them under that rise up against us. Look at the resolve in verse 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. We talked a lot about yesterday about trusting in our own devices, our own plans, our own way. We will always regret trusting ourselves over trusting God. And we said this, it's not that we don't plan or strategize or, vet decisions or compare pros and cons. It's that in the final position, we don't trust those things. We trust God's direction and leading in our lives. And ultimately, we trust his sovereignty and providence that he delivers us. So look at verse 7. So verse 6 says, I will not trust, but thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. Now, verse 7 is interesting because he's about to say, you haven't saved us. Look at verse 9. I'll just foreshadow here. Thou hast cast us off, put us to shame. Goest not forth with our armies. We are defeated. The position of the psalm is we're in defeat. So verse 7 is looking back and saying, God, in times past you've saved us and you've put them to shame that hated us. So we're not going to trust ourselves because we know who you are and we know what you've done. We don't know why you've allowed this defeat to happen, but we know what you've done in the past. And here's what I want to drive home to you today, okay? Whoever's writing this psalm and whoever is singing this psalm in terms of the nation of Israel and the people group that this psalm was brought forth to, their hope from the view of defeat is the historical record of what God has done in their past, okay? So when you're in a low moment, the most important weapon you have to get through it is the remembrance of what God has done for you already. Because in every new defeat or in every new low moment or time of struggle, you have a growing archive, a growing library of stories of times that God led you through similar circumstances and brought you forth. I'll never forget years ago, I was a young married man starting out in ministry, trying to keep it all together, kids coming, lots of bills growing, house payment, car payments, insurance payments, and the stress of all that was really weighing on me. And I hated doing the checkbook. I still hate doing it, but I hate it for different reasons now. I'm just not a numbers person. Any day I don't have to look at numbers is a good day. I look at them because I have to, and it's my responsibility to do so. And I want to be a faithful and a good steward, and I want to make sure that God's resources in my life and in our ministry are being well stewarded. And so I enter into it because it is a part of leadership, both as a husband and as a pastor. But it's not something I naturally gravitate to. But back then, there was always more bills than money. And so it was stressful. I'd pay what I could. I would tithe. I'd pay my bills. And there'd always be more bills sitting there that I couldn't pay yet. And it was stressful. And one day I was doing that, and I had done this, I don't know, I was maybe married 5 or 6 years. And I was playing music in the background. And the song playing in the background was Great is Thy Faithfulness. And the singing is going, great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. And I am so stressed doing the checkbook, stack of bills, can't pay those, paying what I can, not much money left, a little bit to live off of the next few days till payday. I mean, it was tense. I was so worried. I was so afraid. I was so distressed. In the background, all I have needed, thy hand hath provided. And it was like in the moment of distress, God came up and he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, hey, Cary, stop for a minute. What's that playing in the background? I stopped. I listened. Started listening to the words. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. And he said, hey, has it occurred to you? You keep doing this? And I'm like, I keep doing what, Lord? Like every week and every month for 5, 6, 7 years, you've been doing this? Doing what, Lord? This? Anxiety, distress, fear, worry, stack of bills, tithing, paying your bills, can't pay them all. Hey, Cary, 5 years in, you've been doing this like every month, if not more than once a month. And every time it's the same cycle. And listen to the song. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. Hey, Cary, has there been any month you've gone without making your house payment, your car payment, your insurance payment, your grocery bill? Are your kids starving? Are you lacking for clothing? Are your needs met? I put my pen down, I sat back, and I thought, oh my goodness. He has been faithful to me for 5, 6, 7 years, and I'm missing it. I'm sitting here stewing and fretting and worrying, and I'm not remembering. I'm starting every month like it's brand new. I'm not remembering where God's brought me to. And every new moment feels like a new defeat and a new panic attack and a new seizing up and getting into my own head. And my friend, I just want to tell you today, you don't have to live that way. God wants you to remember in verse 7, wait a minute, you did deliver me already. You have brought me through. And he wants you to move into verse 8. Yeah, in the moment of defeat, he wants you to say, in God we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever. Selah. So from the valley of defeat, the psalmist says, because we know you're our only hope and what you've done in the past and the history we have with you and the remembrance we have of your miracles, we're going to boast in you all day, every day, even on the hard days, even from the valley, even from the depths. We're going to praise your name forever, God. You are God. And this is a fixed reality. You're my God, and I'm going to praise you even from the jaws of defeat. So take some time today, my friend, and remember what God's done for you. Hey, that's it for today. That's enough for today. Have a great Wednesday. See you tomorrow.